What's going on, guys? A little impromptu video today. It is Sunday. We had a big week and we made some mistakes today. So stick around. Tell you all about it.
Right, so big week, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
big week.
Friday. What happened this past Friday, man? The details take over the sales for P&S.
Yeah,
That was fun.
P&S East Bay. Shout out Steve at P&S
Thank
East
you.
Bay. Yeah,
Thank
shout
you,
out
Steve.
Steve,
With your whole
Romero,
crew.
Jason, everybody that came through, all the detailers. Isaac's Mobile Detailing, Osito Jr., Revive was there, Gian from Revive.
Panda.
Yeah, we had two pandas in the house.
We have both Supreme teams in the house.
Yeah,
Supreme.
Supreme. Yep.
A lot of heavy hitters out there, man. Some good ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. I can't forget Aztec, Alchemist. A lot of these cats that are running the Bay Area scene. Bike Works is out there.
I'm sure we forgot a lot of. There's a lot.
Oh yeah. Sorry if we forgot you, but we had a great time. Thank you everybody who came out and supported. It was a good event. It was a fun event. We hooked up a lot of people together to make some money and to start making some moves and elevating their game, whether it's their marketing schemes, whether it's they're targeting their demographic, whether it's just being able to take on more work, if it's learning how to maneuver through different aspects of work, whether that's we had a few guys that are going from taking opportunities on like fleets and things that they've kind of never gone into before, so we were able to advise them on that. A lot of new guys came through. There was probably 4 or 5 guys that were
new, like
they're fresh.
They're starting detailing today type new.
So it feels good when somebody comes in that fresh because they're already starting. They get consulted by us, even if it's just 5-10 minutes on, hey, my man, you don't need all this. Here are the hitters right here. Use these, take care of these, perfect this, then start moving up. Don't put too much on your plate right now and get this down. And, some pieces of information like that can save you years, time, and like thousands of dollars because you don't know where to begin. So you're pretty much just throwing arrows in the dark. So it feels really good to be able to consult those guys early on and see their progression, and that's when you get stuff like Omar with Premium. Shout out to Omar, where they jump in the game and it's like, okay, now the people in the whole area know who you are because you're taking over. It's like, well, I'm seeing this dude everywhere. What's going on? And you advance at a lot faster rate. So thank you again, everybody, for coming out to our event at P&S East Bay. And thank you, P&S East Bay, for hosting us. Bob Phillips, made an appearance, came by. We kind of talked, made some plans for SEMA, which is coming up next month. And that's going to be something really fun for us because now we're actually starting to plan and schedule our dates with all the vendors, when we're going to do podcasts, when we're going to do reviews, when we're going to talk about upcoming new products. So if you guys aren't going to be making it to SEMA, check in with us because we're going to be posting daily. And we're also going to be going live on IG and on this account to stream directly from SEMA. So you'll get a lot of good insights, a lot of good information, and you'll get all the buzz on the industry.
And for those of you guys that have been to SEMA, if there's something that you feel that we need to check out, let us know in the comments and we'll be sure to do that. First time, so it's new to us.
Yeah, we're excited. There's already a lot of people that we know that are going. A lot of people are excited that we're going to be attending this year. We weren't able to make it last year, so we got some grounds to make up for, and we got a lot of hands to shake and a lot of videos to make. We got some people out there too that we got to kind of tap in with that we haven't seen in a while. So it should be a fun time. But back to today, man. So wrapping up our week. We wrapped up our week on a good note, at P&S, and with the busy schedule, of course, back home, gotta get back into it. We banged out our work yesterday after a late night, and then came back in this morning ready to take care of the fleet work. And man, we forgot a couple things that really, it was like a punch to the stomach when you're on site and things don't play out the way you thought, or you forgot something. And it's not the first time it's happened. It's not going to be the last, but we try our hardest.
That it will be the last.
Yes, that it will be the last. We like working at a certain level of involved labor as well as in a certain time frame. So we already instinctively know based off of how we feel. Like at a certain point, you're like, okay, we should be done by now, or this vehicle we should be 100% done with this.
Well, we talked about this morning. I think we cursed us this morning. Because when I said, oh man, today's a good day. Today's one of those days where it feels like, in high school, all you have is body conditioning class to do.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, today, this is one of those days to breeze. It's going to be nothing. Well, it still was nothing, but not to our standards of what we're used to. A couple things we forgot. What were the things that we started out with?
We forgot the blower.
The Ryobi blower.
Yeah, we forgot the blower. We forgot, I forgot the alkaline wheel cleaner.
Forgot the extension.
Extension for...
The pressure gun.
Oh yes, yes. So when I'm working on the fleet vans, I was using more water and I was having to get closer to the vehicle, and it changed a lot by me having to extend with my arm. And luckily, none of them are too tall where I have to get on a ladder. But the reach.
The battery on the IK foamer went out, so I was doing pumping for like 4 vehicles. So when we do this fleet, we start at 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, depending on the sun. Today we started at 7 o'clock. It usually takes an hour, no more than an hour.
Yeah.
And also with this fleet, so we do it in the morning, still cool outside. I like to get this job done without sweating.
Yes.
Today I was sweating.
Yeah. The sun started peaking, and you were doing a lot more.
I was moving.
You didn't have the blower to dry the rims, so you're doing that by hand. I didn't have the extension, so I had to move the van a couple times also.
Yeah, we moved the van 3 times.
Yeah, I had to move the van 3 times. But I think we have a plan for that next time. So there was some things I was having to work off of dirt, which I hate doing. It just makes things that much more worse. So the vehicles luckily were on concrete, but I was having to maneuver and work with the van on the dirt. So any lines I was pulling out.
Also too, it's harvest season. So this fleet,
it was rough,
beat up more than usual.
Yeah,
and this was after we put a sealant on it from last month, and it still was beat up. Probably one of the worst being beat up.
Yeah, I haven't seen them like this in a while. And then they do get rougher throughout the winter. This is when they look the roughest and when they get the roughest. So we need to throw some protection on there soon. So I'm probably gonna go get some of those the real cheap one. What's it called? No games or whatever. The cheap ceramics. What is it called?
Oh, no hype?
Yeah, I think the no hypes. I think I'm gonna have to buy me some no hypes, and the next time we run with 3 men, just have them just slap this on and wipe it off. Mm-hmm. They're all white vehicles. It doesn't matter. I'll buy about 5 bottles to get all those things coated. So we're talking the next year is gonna be a breeze. So I do not mind ceramic coating these vehicles. It didn't suck today. It was doing something should have taken X amount of time, and it didn't hit that number.
When you always get an A and you got a B this time.
Yeah.
It's not horrible, but it's like, damn, I always get an A now.
If we were evaluated on this, we would have passed with flying colors, no problem, and we would have exceeded expectations. If people saw the way we did it, they'd still be impressed. Like, oh man, you guys are organized. Everything's very synchronized. So when it's synchronized at that level and something throws you off or you don't have your tools, and all the things we're talking about we didn't have are things that maybe a year ago we weren't using at all. Which is the funny part.
When I was doing the pumping on that IK sprayer, that was a time that I used to dry the windows.
Oh yeah. See, and that's how we look at it, guys. We're not looking at it as, oh, it's not a big deal. I just need to pump this. We're looking at the missed opportunity of the productivity that we halted.
Yeah.
So it's like where I'm at right now, I should be here.
Yeah.
I should be doing this process. At this time, I'm normally here. And that in itself kind of throws you off.
The last time when everything was synchronized, I was 2 cars ahead of you and 1 car already was done.
Yeah.
1 vehicle, 1 fleet van was done already. And
put that into perspective, guys. You got 2 men running like that, and he's that far ahead of me, and I'm just...
Today, I was 1 vehicle ahead of you the whole time. Only 1 vehicle
So you're probably feeling the heat?
I was feeling the heat, yeah. And that's why I was sweating even more. So it was like, damn, I can't get into a groove.
So if you guys are thinking about doing some fleet work, I advise you probably, if you haven't been doing it long, you just get into it, consult with us because our fleet work it doesn't feel like fleet work. It doesn't feel like work at all, to be honest. It's some people don't like it, but there's a lot of money to be made in fleet if you do it right.
Well, and I think that's not a problem, but an issue that detailers have. We're a two-man crew, so we're constantly giving each other feedback on how to improve. When you're a solo team, who do you have those conversations with?
Yeah.
Who do you have that's telling you you're doing it wrong? Remember that we just had a consultation a couple months ago, and we were getting after it, doing the consult, timing everything, and you said, "Hey, what are you doing? You're taking way too long. Like you shouldn't."
Yeah. I bit my tongue as long as I could.
And the guy that was doing the training with us, he goes, "Thank you. Keep it coming. I need that because no one else is there to tell him that he's doing something wrong because you're your own boss at that point, and everyone needs to hear like, hey, you need improvement in this." Yeah. So shout out to my man. Like he was real receptive in that, and his ego was out the way. He said thank you. So what do you do? What do you say to those people that run a one-man crew that have those bad days that have no one to talk to about how to improve other than themselves?
It's one of those things that's really tough because I've heard a lot of different solutions from people, and some people say that they even record themselves.
Oh, that's a good way.
That's it. That's a good way to get a visual observation, but that's still not going to help you spot opportunities in your process. You'll see things. You'll see the surface stuff like, okay, I'm going back and forth to my van way too many times. Okay, I should be doing this. Okay, I didn't need to do that. Okay, it looks like I'm taking out a lot of equipment I don't need to be taking out. Those things do help, but as far as the things internally that you have to discipline yourself for, like work pace, like enthusiasm and sense of urgency, moving with purpose. How do you teach that when you don't have a comprehension of it or you don't understand the value of it?
Right.
So I think those things, that's why it's important to get a consultation, whether you think your business is doing good or not, because we've been consulted, by and there's things where we're like, okay, we got to change that. We got to change this. We got to change that. Like the few things, there wasn't a lot of things, but there was things that we had to take a look at. When you get a consult, man, it covers a lot of ground if you're doing it from the right person. And we do them all the time, and it immediately has impact on people. Like the next day. And we ask them like the next day, the next time they're working, hey, send us feedback on how much time you saved on your next detail. And they'll say, I think the last person, the one we're talking about, I think it was like 1 hour and 20 minutes on his next detail that he did. He goes, I saved 1 hour and 20 minutes. And then the next day he's like 45 minutes. I say 30 minutes. But it's like these savings are substantial. It's a big savings of time that like when you do things right and you are moving with purpose in your process. But that all has to be integrated at conception. It has to be within the planning because the order of operations will change for anything that's added on. Even for us, you throw something new into the mix that we incorporate, how long does it take for us to adjust? And we're good at that, but can you imagine somebody who's never had something change like that? How long it could and what happens is as soon as someone starts to panic, the discipline has to come in so you don't go and revert back to your old behaviors like, oh, I'm running below on I'm getting stressed out or something happened. Now I'm going to start doing stuff the way I normally do. That's like now you're going away from the process and you're falling back into your bad behavior because you panic. And a lot of guys do that. Like all over the workplace. It doesn't matter where. Like you learn a good process and then what do you do as soon as things go? Like even in sports.
Oh yeah, that's scrambling quarterback.
Yes, he gets a little scared, and then he starts doing all the stuff,
all the wild stuff.
Yeah, because the fight or flight goes into mode. You're like, okay, I gotta do something. I'm gonna, so you start scrapping and you lose focus on
why
process.
You think Mike Tyson bit old boy's ear off?
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yes, he definitely wasn't composed at that time. No. So yeah, process helps all that. So if you guys are in need of a consultation, it's always linked in the description below. But so that little those few things that we had today, man, it kind of threw a little curveball. We still hit it. We got a triple, but we didn't get a home run like we're used to. and what our expectations are. And this is what we talk about when we tell people, like when we go and we network or we're doing events or we're hosting something or we're training somewhere, we're not there talking about detailing. We're there talking about process. We're talking about business. We're talking about end result. We're talking about, yes, detailing is what you're doing. That's the job. But more importantly, it's how you're doing it, who you're doing it with, whether that be business relationship or internally in your crew. And just understanding what your mission is and getting it done in the fastest, most efficient, organized way possible. So we're back here. We had breakfast, hung out, brainstormed, thought of some great ideas. We're setting our goals for 2025 right now. It's October and we're setting our goals for that's things that we've done for ourselves and our business have led us to we're planning that far ahead now. Like most people are not thinking of 2025. Most people are not thinking of, most people around December, they're like, oh, okay, this is when I need to start doing stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if we start planning stuff like mid-year next year. That's for what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And that's because we have time to do it. Because we're not overwhelmed with all this stuff going,
We're not having detailing problems.
Yes. We're not having, yes. All the detailing problems, all the marketing stuff that people say you have to do,
SEO,
all of the SEO stuff, reviews. all of that stuff, all the crazy rescheduling and all the not being able to get clients, none of that is even a factor in our business. We've learned how to eliminate that, and we teach how to eliminate that so you don't waste any time messing with that junk. It works for some of you guys, but don't think that's the only way. There's so many different ways to operate a business. So we do things to the extreme. That's with our process and our development of process, with our analytics, with our tracking, with everything. There's certain things that, you do need that second person, and that's why consultants are out there. You get consulted by the right person, it'll change your business, it'll change your outcome, it'll change your goals, and it'll change your idea of what it is that you're doing and what's important in what you're doing. That's my whole take on consulting and improvement, because improvement is crucial. If you're not improving, then I don't know, those are the guys where I hear, I've been doing this for 25 years, and they don't want to get out of whatever it is they're doing, or as far as they just don't want to try nothing, don't want to do nothing. Oh, I'm fine doing it this way. The worst words you could hear is, I'm just fine doing it this way. I guarantee there's always room for improvement. Always some aspect of it that can be improved. And that's what we're constantly working towards, because it gives you more time. We were talking about it in line today at the gas station. We're talking about when you do certain things, what was the, what I said, we probably lost how much time today? It probably took us an extra what?
I'll say 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Because we did an extra, we usually do 6, we did an extra, we did a
we did do an extra one today.
So I'll say probably extra 30 minutes.
Okay, so say that extra 30 minutes. If we didn't know, if that's how we normally operated, which would be good. If we did a consult and we saw somebody work the way we work today, I would be impressed.
The average on the vehicle is 7.5 minutes per vehicle.
So if I saw somebody doing it the way we did, I would say, okay, you guys are good, but there's some stuff you could shape up on here. It would be pretty obvious. But if we didn't know what we know, then we would be doing that every time we do this job, which is 30 minutes. If you're doing the job once a week, that's 2 hours.
How long was that when you took on that fleet job when you first started?
Oh, geez.
What was it? What was the time?
I remember being there all day.
7 hours?
I remember being there, probably about 6 hours.
6 hours, 2 people still?
Yes.
6 hours, 2 people. So you're talking
We were doing it rinseless.
6 hours down to under an hour.
Yeah.
You didn't take any more after that, right? The fleet was just...
No.
So
I couldn't. I could not do it.
So with the fleet, we're able to take on 2 more jobs if we wanted to.
Yeah. We're not going to take on fleets for everybody, but our clientele want it a certain way. It means something to them because it means something to their clients. And that's primarily why they do it. They know it makes an impact on their business, on their drivers and their employees. You know, they have more pride in what they're doing. They're showing up looking more presentable to their appointments, to their clients when it's time to work.
I don't want to talk a little more about fleet work, right? I think fleet work is kind of like the hot topic right now. We hear a lot of folks talking about getting on fleet work.
Yeah.
You know, like when we were at P&S Friday, a lot of fleet work conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you know.
I saw a couple videos about fleet work this week.
However, like, let's talk about the type of fleet work there. When we say fleet, are we talking work vans? Well, we are talking work vans, work trucks, something like 3 or more.
Yeah.
I would say is a fleet, maybe like the Amazon trucks, police departments.
Yeah. Even like social service stuff. Like I did a couple for like they would transport. It's kind of like aid. Like a transit aid for like the elderly, or where they maybe have like 4 small vans or 5 small vans. It could even be for like schools and companies that do a lot of field trips and outdoor stuff. Landscapers. It could be pretty much anything that has a set amount of vehicles. It could be a small fleet. It could be 3 cars. It could be Priuses. We've done fleets for pizza delivery. They range. But also with that, the work ranges. More importantly than the work, like I think the terms are always going to be the indicator of whether or not it's worth it for you. Because some guys really don't feel like fleet work is worth it.
Well, yes, because of the opportunity cost, because of manpower,
it's mostly because of process. It's mostly because of process and terms.
Lack of process.
Yes. The process is not on point, and they have shitty terms. Like, you got to remember, guys, when you guys are getting into a contract, and a lot of people think a contract is a good thing. Like, oh, we're official. We got a contract. Oh, I got a contract with so-and-so. Oh, I got a contract with so-and-so. That's cool. It's cool to be in a contract like that. There's nothing wrong with the contract. But but who's writing the contract? Yeah. Who's writing the contract?
How are the people that write contracts every day?
Yes. Like
you sign a contract, you better have a lawyer on retainer.
Yes.
You better have that ready.
You're gonna get yourself into like a TLC contract where then you're over here. Oh, you got to do performances for the next 20 years, and we need 10 albums.
That rookie deal contract.
Yeah, you get that rookie running back contract. No, that you could get into some. The terms are what's more important. It's like, to me, it's like somebody saying, "Oh, I got a new car, this and that." It's like, how you get a new car? You ain't even got a job. Oh, I got a car. It's like, oh, you must have some messed up terms. Your terms are messed up. Like, they got you. Like, so there's a lot of different ways to look at fleets. But
and I think that's how they get a lot of not just detailers, but people in general. When we're talking detailers. Yeah. That's a huge sum of money that you see on paper.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. $5,000 a month. Woo! Just for doing this, that's cool.
Yeah.
But they're not looking at what it takes to equal $5,000. They get carried away real quick.
And don't think you're just walking out of that contract. That's not the way contracts work. Like, you'll get sued. Like, you'll pay them, and you'll be in trouble. You don't want to get into any litigation with somebody because you're in contract. But people look at contracts like, "Ooh, I'm contract. I got a contract.
I'm signed to the label."
So if you're not making the contract,
so
you need to look at, you need to change.
You said terms. Give me a couple example of the terms. I know expectation. What is the expectation? This is not going to be a full detail. Like, don't.
We're not. Ain't no detailing going on here.
No.
Ain't no detailing going on here. You could forget that right now. Mm-hmm. We could take that one off the table right now. Just know you're not getting a detail. We're doing fleet work. You're not getting a detail. You don't need a detail, and you're not. And I know for sure you're not going to pay for a detail. But we're talking more of like more of the work vehicle type of stuff, fleets. So the expectations got to be dropped to the level of what you're getting paid. That's number one. Like, if you're not putting the work in alignment with the money, like, you need to reconsider your business. You need to reconsider how you do things, because that's most important. Nobody's getting anything more out of me than what they're paying for, unless it's at my discretion. If we offer the discount, if we say, hey, we'll take care of this one, or hey, we can do it for this price, then we know we're okay with we're making that decision. You never want to put yourself in a position where you're doing the work and being like, feeling like a victim. Oh man, I hate this contract. I never should have been in this. Who are you getting mad at?
You signed it.
Yeah, you signed it.
All happy.
Yeah.
Happy
You saw that money. You saw that money. When you break it down, will you make more money just doing what you're normally doing? Because also there's opportunity cost there.
Well, what we hear a lot is we're talking about. I guess you could lump this in fleet work. What do you call it? CarMax. We heard a lot of horror stories with. Yeah. It sounds good, right, at the very beginning because everything's cool. The expectation starts changing with those car folks. You know what I mean? Like
it's like a bad client.
Yes.
Oh, hey, you think you can get that little stain? I know. I didn't pay. I know I didn't get that service.
But this one you can.
But can you get that? Hey, that's it. Can you pull the machine out real quick and just give it? Kind of like I know that using them old Chipotle tricks. Just put it. Yeah, they're just not saying. Hey, they're not saying. Can you? Yeah, they're not saying it. Hey, my man, can you throw a little bit more? Yeah, trying to find little loopholes. Those are the parts that people don't understand about contracts, fleet work, and airline. That's why people talk so bad about the dealership stuff. You know who breaks this down really well is working to the level of what they're paying you and expectation is Detail Grandma. Because she works on dealership cars and a lot of them are used, a lot of them are thrashed, but you got to remember, what are you doing? What service are you doing?
Shout out to Detailing Grandma because ain't no one taking advantage of her.
Yeah, she's holding it down. She don't play. So there's there's expectations set on every type of job that you do. You also have to know what their needs are. If you go into a contract with someone and they're saying, "Hey, I hired a detailer to do all of these cars," and the cars are not detailed, and you're saying, "Oh, we're going to do a wash, wax. We'll make sure they're all this and that," because it's almost like an interview to most of these guys when they see that amount of money. Like they're going to do everything they can to get that contract. Oh, I want to get that money. I want to get that contract. So they're going to go in there like they're on an interview. And what happens in interviews? What do the people when you're interviewing?
They tell you what you want to hear.
Yes, I'll do it. I'll work on weekends if you need. I'll do this. I'll do that. I don't care. I'll clean the bathrooms if you need the bathrooms clean. I'll do this. I'll do that. And then what happens when you hire them?
You can't find them.
Oh, you didn't tell me I had to do this. Oh, I didn't know I had to do that. Showing up late.
That's not in my job description.
Yeah, yeah. And if you don't know your expectation, you can do a run before. Just say, hey, how about we just do one run before? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Saying, let me do one run and you just pay me this rate. If you're satisfied and I'm satisfied,
we can talk again. Let's sit down.
Let's sit down and let's make these terms.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But people don't think to do something like that. They're over here like, well, we're at this culture where like people are like begging for client. Like that's the new way to get clientele is like beg for a review, beg for the contract. You know what I mean? Bug them to death. Like it's just do your job well, and your name is gonna get out there. And then you set your own terms with everything that you do. We set every single term for everything that we do. Like there's nothing in our business that we don't do without setting terms. With everybody. With every relationship that we get into, where there's any kind of exchange of goods or services or money, there's always expectation and there's always some type of term set. Like I don't let somebody come in if I need my washer clean. I'm not gonna let them say, "Oh, well, we'll come between Monday and Thursday." Nah, that ain't gonna work.
From 8 o'clock to 5 p.m.
Yeah, that's not gonna work for me. I need something a little bit more set in stone. Let's say, how does between 12 and it becomes to the point where we almost tell others what's gonna be best for the situation. Almost like they need guidance.
I think that's how it should be if you're the professional providing the service.
Yes. Like, I have no problem if somebody, and I've had people where I'm trying to explain the service or do, let the client know exactly what's going on, and they comprehend it really quickly, and they say, okay, well, why don't we just do this and this end, and they call it a day.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, cool, you got it, you broke it down for me. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to be you with the setting of the terms, but if at least you put that in the forefront, like, hey, this is what's not gonna happen, or this is what we're gonna do, and this is what we can do, and then you go from there, like something as easy as that. But a lot of guys are like, oh yeah, you can that much money, and then they don't realize, oh no, you got to do that too. Oh, that's included.
You know what you see a lot of in mechanic work.
Yeah.
Well, my shout out to my mechanic, man. I had my thing wrong with my car, and I told him what the first guy told me, and I went and told him. He looked at it and goes, "You could do that, or you could just do it like this, and this will be fine for you."
Yeah.
Roger that.
For your needs.
Yeah. For what you're telling me, go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah. And it's just keeping it all the way real with you, and everybody does business different. Some people just don't know how to communicate. Like, yeah, that may not be something that you need. Or maybe they're, just like, for instance, a detailer. Some detailers have a bunch of packages, and some are like, no, if I'm going to do that, I'm going all the way. Like, I'm not going to change your brakes unless they need to be changed and you need rotors. Or
right.
I don't think it's not a good analogy, but I'm just saying. Like some people are like, well, if you're going to buy a new tire, like if you need one tire, you might as well just get all four right now. But if you know those tires are going to last you 2 more years or another year, you're like, I don't really drive my car that much. It's like, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but these tires will go a long time because I'm not driving like that. It's not my daily driver type of deal. If that makes any sense. But yeah, terms, guys, terms. Again, if you don't know how to set terms, consulting line. This is where we help people so many times on their terms with stuff. Omar, for instance, he's doing airplanes. Like he's getting into the airplanes now, and we're going back and forth, consulting. Like he's letting me know what they're, trying to throw at him, and then what they're saying other guys are getting paid for, service wise. And then I start telling him the things that he has to look out for. And he's like, okay, that'll rise. Even with Omar, he did the CarMax too.
Yeah.
He did CarMax, and he was all excited.
You know what I think airplane is? We never did it. We never did an airplane.
Yeah, aviation.
Airplane doesn't seem fun to me, but what it sounds like to me is comparable to the guys that say, I want to do that Ferrari. I want to do that Ford GT.
Yeah.
It's an unnecessary flex.
You think you want to.
Yeah,
you think you want to.
Polishing a plane does not seem fun at all.
And that's because you look at things from labor to monetary exchange. There's no emotional ego or anything about it for you. You're like, yeah, I know we're going to get more money, but I know that's a shit load.
That money is not going to make this back feel good.
Yeah. It's like there's other work we could do, brother, and get this money. Like we don't got to be doing this.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that the other day. It's like there's things, and that's what makes us set terms, right?
Right.
Is when we have those days where it's like, nah, this shit ain't happening again. But we know when we fucked up. Well, we're like, man, and sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Sal, sometimes it's both of us, where we thought we were getting into something real nice. And you're like, oh, it's like, no. But again, that money could be very enticing, and it is, a good amount of the time it does take the experience for you to go through. But man, that can't be too bad. And then you go and do it, and you're like, oh, we ain't doing that again.
That money could be like that fine girl. You think you're having a good time, but a fine woman.
Yeah. Just get an ugly one and not have no problem. You don't have that ugly woman problems. Like, oh man, I got a problem with it. What you talking about? You got problems with.
I was talking about some guys at the P&S event yesterday.
Oh, you ain't telling you.
Hey man, so I think we covered a lot of this fleet work and talked about a recap of our day, man. So
shout out to all the women. We love you all. We don't, I didn't mean to offend anybody.
None taken. I'm sure they say the same thing.
Yeah.
Having the fly brothers has some issues too.
You gotta get ugly, man. You don't got those problems with ugly, man. Man, he's out with his friends. Like, man, you gotta worry about it. He's out with ugly, man. But yeah, so yeah, shout out to P&S. Shout out to those getting the fleet contracts. Just make sure don't be getting yourself in no bad contract, man. We hear bad contracts all the time from all types of endorsement deals to artists all over. Like just bad contracts, and everybody that signs a bad contract or gets in a bad contract.
What they say?
Oh man,
they took advantage
did
of
me
me.
dirty. They know you signed the contract. You are obligated to fulfill your end. So do it. Do your diligence. Read it. Have somebody read it for you. Go pay a lawyer hourly to see if everything's good to go on it. You could really get messed up in this. This is business. And trust me, if you're getting into a contract with somebody like CarMax, it's not their first rodeo. Or you're getting into contract with somebody else. I don't know. We're just putting CarMax out there. But somebody else who has their legal department writing it up, trust me, it's more than likely not in your favor. Well, not even more than likely. It's they're writing the terms based on what they want and what they need and what their budget is, not yours. So keep that in mind. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for tuning in. Joel and Sal with Details. We're out.